and welcome to the World News and VOP TV. I'm Kayla Abraham. We begin the news response to the airstrike which obliterated Iran's consulate in Damascus and claimed the lives of 7 Revolutionary Guard members. Thousands marched in Tehran today chanting death to Israel and death to America. Protests spread across Iranian cities amidst heightened concerns regarding potential retaliation for Monday's strike, resulting in 12 casualties, including 4 Syrian nationals and a member of Hezbollah. Commander of the Revolutionary Guard, General Hossein Salami, addressed the demonstrators at Tehran University, asserting that no threat against Iran will go unanswered. Jihadist attacks in southeastern Iran near Pakistan killed 10 Iranian security personnel. The Pakistan-based Sunni Muslim rebel group Jaish al-Adl or Army of Justice claimed the attacks. The number of dead is almost as large as from a similar attack in December, which the same group claimed and which was followed by tit-for-tat airstrikes with Pakistan. The attacks hit Sistan Balochistan province, which has for years faced unrest involving drug smuggling gangs, rebels from the Balochi minority, and Sunni Muslim extremists. Majid Mehramadi, Vice Minister of the Interior, had earlier told the channel that 5 members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the police died during 2 nighttime attacks against a guard's base in Rask and a police post in Chabahar. He added that the assailants appeared to be foreigners without providing further details. The number of assailants killed in the clashes also rose from the 15, which General Mohammed Pakpour, who heads the Guard's land forces, had announced on television. The group Jaish al-Adl claimed the attacks on its Telegram channel. Formed in 2012, it is listed as a terrorist group by Iran and also by the United States. Meanwhile, thousands of Iranians gathered in protest today during a funeral procession for members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps killed in a Syrian airstrike. The attack, which occurred at the Iranian embassy compound in Damascus, resulted in the deaths of 2 brigadier generals and 5 other members of the IRGC. While Iran has pointed fingers at Israel for the strikes, Israeli officials have not publicly commented on the incident. However, both Iran and the U.S. government suspect Israel's involvement, adding to the tension in the region. The demonstrations coincided with the Al-Quds Day, an annual event that traditionally draws hundreds of thousands of government supporters. Amidst chants for retribution, the protest underscored Iran's long-lasting animosity towards Israel, intensified by Israel's recent military actions in the Palestinian Gaza Strip. This latest escalation further exacerbates the strained relations between the 2 countries, with Iran maintaining its call for the eradication of Israel, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu continues to identify Iran as Israel's foremost adversary. As speculation grows over a potential Iranian military response, the situation remains volatile, with both sides on edge. Netanyahu's characterization of Iran as Israel's primary threat reflects a deep-seated enmity between the 2 nations, rooted in geopolitical tensions and ideological differences. The fallout from the Syrian airstrike underscores the ongoing geopolitical complexities in the Middle East, with the threat of further escalation looming large amidst regional unrest and instability. President Joe Biden has issued a stern warning to Israel, stating that future support for its offensive in Gaza hinges on tangible effort to safeguard aid workers and civilians. This marks the first instance of the Biden administration using U.S. aid as leverage to influence Israeli military conduct. The warning came after a fatal Israeli attack on aid workers from World Central Kitchen, with Israel attributing the incident to an error. The move has sparked renewed calls from the fellow Democrats to impose conditions on U.S. aid to Israel. Despite being a staunch supporter of Israel throughout his career, Biden has faced mounting pressure to reconsider aid shipments or withhold support. While this warning signifies a shift in approach, Biden emphasized the necessity for Israel to take immediate concrete steps to address civilian casualties and ensure the safety of aid personnel. During a 30-minute phone call phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Biden underscored the urgency of implementing specific measures to alleviate humanitarian suffering. The White House emphasized that U.S. policy towards Gaza will be contingent on Israel's response to these demands. As Israel's primary weapons supplier, the United States has historically shielded it diplomatically at the United Nations. However, the Biden administration has refrained from detailing the potential changes in its policy towards Israel and Gaza. White House spokesperson John Kirby indicated that Washington anticipates an announcement from Israel regarding these steps in the coming days, underscoring the gravity of the situation and the need for swift action to mitigate civilian harm and humanitarian crisis. Israel's Minister of Economy, Nir Barkat, has refuted allegations suggesting that Israeli forces intentionally targeted 7 aid workers from World Central Kitchen in Gaza. WCK founder Jose Andres has accused Israel of systematically targeting his workers, a claim Barkat dismissed as nonsense. Instead, Barkat characterized the strikes that led to the workers' death as a grave mistake, emphasizing that the incident would undergo investigation. In an interview with the newsman, Barkat expressed Israel's regret over the loss of the aid workers, attributing their deaths to the unfortunate reality of friendly fire during wartime. He acknowledged that such casualties, including those of aid workers and civilians, are a regrettable aspect of conflict. The killings have prompted widespread international condemnation, with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak demanding a thorough and transparent independent investigation. Similarly, President Joe Biden has criticized Israel for what he perceives as insufficient efforts to safeguard aid workers and civilians. This incident has heightened concerns over the protection of humanitarian workers in conflict zones and underscores the complexities and risks associated with conducting humanitarian operations in areas of active conflict. We'll now go on a short break and return with more stories. Stay with us.
It's Ramadan. It's the season of sharing and caring. As Muslim faithfuls all over the world pray and fast, may peace reign all over, especially in troubled regions. Allah's blessing to us all. May the supplication of every sincere heart be heard. Ramadan Kareem, from all of us at Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. Israel announced plans to increase humanitarian aid flow into the Gaza Strip, including reopening a vital border crossing into the severely affected northern Gaza region. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office revealed the initiative shortly after President Joe Biden stressed the importance of Israel taking further measures to safeguard civilians and aid workers, linking future U.S. support to such actions. Details regarding the quantity and types of items to be permitted through the crossing were not disclosed. Despite ongoing differences, the Biden administration continues to extend crucial military aid and diplomatic backing to Israel throughout its 6-month conflict with Hamas. International pressure mounts on Israel following the killing of 7 aid workers engaged in food distribution in Gaza. The Palestinian death toll surpassed 33,000, with an additional 75,600 individuals wounded. The UN's top human rights body called on countries to stop selling or shipping weapons to Israel in a resolution passed today that aims to help prevent rights violations against Palestinians amid Israel's blistering military campaign in Gaza. The 47-member country Human Rights Council voted 28 to 6 in favor of the resolution, with 13 abstentions. The sweeping measure takes aim at an array of Israeli actions such as impeding access to water and limiting shipments of humanitarian aid into Palestinian areas. It also calls on UN-backed independent investigators to report on shipments of weapons, munitions, and dual-use items that have both civilian and military applications that could be used by Israel against Palestinians. While non-binding, the resolution is bound to raise international pressure on Israel as a sign of widespread concern about its military campaign in Gaza. Begun in response to the attacks in Israel by armed militants on October 7 that has led to the killings of nearly 33,000 Palestinians. Now, leaders from the United States and the European Union affirmed their ongoing support for Armenia and ethnic Armenians from the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region during talks with Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. Azerbaijan's seizure of the Nagorno-Karabakh region in September 2023 triggered a mass exodus of its ethnic Armenian populace. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken emphasized their commitment to bolstering Armenia's democratic and economic resilience, highlighting Washington's assistance in enhancing food security, digital infrastructure, and energy sector diversification. Armenia, a treaty ally of Russia, has traditionally enjoyed close ties with Moscow in the South Caucasus. However, relations between the two have deteriorated significantly in recent months. Yerevan has sought to forge closer relations with the West, holding Russia accountable for its failure to defend Armenia against Azerbaijan, while also distancing itself from Moscow's involvement in the Ukrainian conflict. Now, Ukraine executed a drone attack targeting southern Russia, claiming the destruction of 6 Russian planes at an airbase in the Rostov region. Reports indicate that an additional 8 aircraft sustained severe damage, with a potential total of 20 service personnel casualties. The Morozovsk base housed Su-27 and Su-34 aircraft deployed on the Ukrainian front line. Russia has not responded to reports of the airfield assault, although Ukrainian sources confirm over 40 drones targeted regions bordering Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed interception and downing of all drones with Saratov, Kursk, Belgorod, and Krasnodar regions reportedly under attack. Rescue operations in Taiwan intensified as teams scored mountainous terrain for a dozen individuals still missing, while airlifting others to safety. The death toll from the week's earthquake rose to 12. 2 additional casualties were discovered in Taiwan's eastern Hualien County 2 days after a 7.4 magnitude quake struck off the coast, the island's most significant tremor in 25 years. The quake caused road damage and triggered rock slides, leaving hundreds stranded in Taroko National Park, a popular hiking destination. According to Justin Wang, team leader at the Huaxing City Fire Department, rescue efforts face challenges due to risk of further landslides, rockfalls, and intermittent rainfall. Coming up, business, sports, and entertainment. Stay tuned.
Hi, Zara.
Ramon, come and help me. You can sell enough to be able to drink our first in this evening.
Ramon, have this. This is what you have to do. You understand? This is what you have.
You know, Zara.
Ramadan, watan samladan nasoda qaunane marabauta da shi.
Ramon, me haka. Gashi na riga ta lalace ka ba Ramon.
Oh, don't worry. Stains don't matter. It can be wiped off with just one wash.
Okay, thank you.
Zara.
Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan Kareem.
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Now to business. London-based metal prices surged on Thursday, with copper hitting a 14-month peak, buoyed by a softer dollar and optimism surrounding potential global rate cuts. 3-month copper on the London Metal Exchange climbed 0.9% to $9,344 per metric ton, reaching levels last seen in January last year. Investor sentiment was bolstered by expectations of relaxed monetary policies in Europe following Eurozone inflation data and Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's reaffirmation of a possible rate cut this year. China's robust manufacturing data further boosted optimism about metals demand, especially as Chinese smelters plan output cuts amid raw material shortages. Meta's AI image generator faced criticism for its inability to accurately depict interracial couples, sparking concerns about racial representation in AI technology. Users noted discrepancies in generated images when prompted to depict couples or friends from different racial backgrounds. Despite Meta's efforts to address the issue, including the reinstatement of blue checks for prominent users without subscription fees, challenges persist in achieving diverse and inclusive representations. The incident underscores broader discussions about algorithmic bias and the need for ongoing efforts to improve diversity and equity in AI development. Elon Musk's social media platform X reintroduced free blue checks for prominent users, signaling a strategic shift in its verification system. The move comes after Musk initially sought to monetize the verification process but faced challenges in convincing users to pay for the service. Critics argue that the return of the free blue checks reflects a lack of understanding of their inherent value and highlights the complexities of transitioning users from free to paid features. Despite the reversal, questions remain about the long-term viability of X's subscription model and its ability to sustainably monetize its platform. Now in the world of entertainment, model and singer Suki Waterhouse confirms the birth of her first child with Twilight star Robert Pattinson. British star, aged 32, shares a Polaroid image cradling her newborn wrapped in a blanket adorned with love hearts. Waterhouse hinted at her pregnancy during a stage appearance at a festival in Mexico last November, choosing a sparkly outfit to divert attention from her growing baby bump. Subsequently, she posted a series of photographs from the performance, one of which her visible baby bump. Waterhouse and Pattinson, aged 37, have been in an on and off relationship since 2018. Now, singer Anastasia discloses her fear of a brain tumor, later identified as menopause-related symptoms after medical examination. The 55-year-old I'm Out of Love singer expresses surprise at discovering her exhaustion and brain fog were linked to hormones. Having previously undergone a double mastectomy due to cancer diagnosis in 2013, Anastasia's recent health scare sheds light on menopause symptoms, which may include hot flushes, insomnia, heart palpitations, headaches, migraines, and muscle aches. And finally, in sports, the LA Clippers overturned an early 17-point deficit to narrowly beat defending NBA champions, the Denver Nuggets, 102-100. Nikola Jokic, 36 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists were in vain for the Nuggets. The feat was Jokic's 24th triple-double of the season, but he missed a three-point attempt with seconds remaining. The result boosts the Clippers' playoff hopes, though they have already secured at least a play-in spot. The top 6 teams in each conference qualify for the playoffs, while the teams in 7th to 10th place face play-in games for the final 2 spots. Paul George scored 28 points and James Harden 20 for the Clippers, who were without Kawhi Leonard, absent for the second consecutive game with a knee injury. Elsewhere, the New York Knicks ended their 3-game losing streak in style by overturning a 21-point deficit against the Sacramento Kings. Alexis McAllister fired Liverpool back to the top of the Premier League as the Argentine's superb strike inspired a tense 3-1 win against lowly Sheffield United on Thursday. Jurgen Klopp's side were growing anxious after Darwin Núñez's early opener was cancelled out by Conor Bradley's own goal in the second half. But Mark Allister eased the nerves around Anfield with a brilliant finish from the edge of the area, and Cody Gakpo sealed the points in the closing moments. On a potentially pivotal evening in the title race, Liverpool moved 2 points clear of the second-placed Arsenal, with 8 games left for each of the 3 teams involving a gripping battle for supremacy. Arsenal's 2-0 win against Luton had knocked Liverpool out of pole position on Wednesday, with third-place Manchester City's 4-1 rout of Aston Villa keeping them in the hunt. But Liverpool, unbeaten in their last 28 home league matches, are now a step closer to being crowned English champions for a record equaling 20th time and first since 2020. Klopp's treble chasers have already won the League Cup and face Atalanta in the Europa League quarterfinals as they eye a memorable farewell for the German in the last season. And that is a wrap on the world news. Many thanks for watching. I'm Kayla Abraham.